Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Tuesday, September 28, 2021. This morning, the markets gapped down and we have trended lower ever since. We've got strong range, already 71 points of range in the S&P, and it has been straight down. So you can see the S&P chart here in the top left. You can see we opened below the prior day low and initially just started pushing down straight from the open, consolidated a little bit more, and we are trading down even lower now, right near the lows of the session. So what we'll be looking at this afternoon is what has happened historically going into the close of the session when you see strong range and weak price action. So I've got a time-based entry that is selected here. We're going to use a 3 p.m. entry time. I've got it set up as a long. All four instruments are selected. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add that we had a gap down this morning by going to the opening filters and clicking on gap down. Next, I'm going to add some information around what has happened since we opened. So we did not make it back up to the prior day closing price. So that means that the gap from yesterday is not filled. So I'm going to go to the opening gap. I'm going to hit equals here next to gap not filled. The next thing I want to add is that we have strong range. We already have 71 points of range. The current 5-day ATR is about 50 points. So we are well over that. So I'm going to put in the intraday range is at least 125% of the 5-day ATR, and that's going to be looking at the range as of the time of the entry. So strong range already in. And then I'm also going to say that it is trading near the lows of the session as we approach the end of the session. So at the time of entry, which I've got set to 3 p.m. here, I'm going to say that we are trading in the bottom 25% of the intraday range. So I'm going to hit equals right here, close in bottom 25% of intraday range, and that will add that aspect to the test. Now, the last thing I'm going to add is that this is coming off of a day that closed above a 10 and 200 day simple moving average. We closed above those moving averages yesterday, and we're getting this type of price action following that. So I've added both of those, and now I can click view results. All right, here we go. These are the results based upon entering the market long at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, exiting at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. When you gap down and do not retrace to the prior day closing price, and at 3 o'clock, you have strong range and are trading near the lows of the session. This is taking place on the heels of a close that was above a 10 and 200 day simple moving average. Historically, we've got 37 samples in the S&P dating back to 2003. There's 44 for the NASDAQ, 38 for the Dow, and 31 for the Russell. If we look at the win rates on these, you'll see that the S&P is coming in a bit weak. At 41% of these have closed above that 3 p.m. price when this pattern is true. For the NASDAQ, it's 50-50. For the Dow, 45% have closed above that 3 p.m. price, and the Russell is the weakest of the group at 29% of those closing above that 3 p.m. price. So win rates on the four as a group are a little bit weak here. If we look at the average moves, the average loss and average win on these, they're about the same size for the S&P. The average loss is a little bit larger in the NASDAQ and the Dow, and then the Russell is fairly similar in size for average win versus average loss. So two of the four instruments are slightly skewed towards bigger moves on the downside, and then the win rates on them as a group are skewed towards closing below that 3 p.m. price, assuming this pattern is true at 3 o'clock. So we'll find out at 3 if it is going to be true or not, but hopefully you found this helpful. Good luck the rest of the day. We'll see you next time.